All right, so this is the start of getting the FRS ready for Tuner Evo. Carissa, in 2 weeks from today, which by the time you see this video, it'll probably already be done just because I'm that backed up right now, super busy, but we need to get this car looking as good as it's ever looked for Tuner Evo because there's a lot of nice cars going. We need to at least put up a decent fight. I've already taken out all the intercooler piping, the new Cusco strut bar. I took the mounts off of that. All that is down getting powder coated right now. The next thing that I need to do is a few touch up things. We need to replace the front bumper, get the new one wrapped, get that on, swap everything over, the fog lights, the bezels, all that stuff. We actually have new turn signal housings that have LEDs already built in and they're smoked out, so it'll just look a lot better. Plus these are super hazy from all the rock chips and everything. Those will get replaced. Clean up all the wiring for the headlights since we didn't have time to do any of that yet. On the new bumper, we're not going to be using the grill, so I need to trim off all the tabs on that. And then also the actual bumper, I need to paint black just so it blends in a little bit better because the silver really stands out right now, especially with the black intercooler. Put something written across the intercooler just so that stands out. All these little bolts are going to be replaced, so that'll freshen this up a little bit. All these yellow caps I'm going to paint black just to make those disappear. I already took the chassis mount wing off. I'm going to be painting the wing stands for that white, so there'll be a little splash of white coming through the car, so it'll make the vehicle itself pop a little bit. Just look everything over, super detail the car. I got some more actual these M5 Allen bolts, more of those coming because these ones, because the kit right here is so much thicker, the ones supplied with the kit that we got just can't make it to the threads. So new ones of those are coming. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, there's moisture inside the taillight, so sealing the taillights up better because that one leaks. This one I think leaks a little bit, so just throwing a bead of silicone around them, making sure that's all good. Doing the same thing with the headlights. We have a few other little things that we got ordered for the car. We're starting to piece together everything that we're going to be doing to the FRS to get it ready for Tuner Evolution in Chicago. Today we got a lot of the stuff in the mail. Just drove an hour and a half away to go to the powder coaters to pick up all the intercooler piping, the new Cusco strut bar mounts, and then just the stock strut bar mounts. We're going with white accents. We have new hardware for the wide body in white. We have some engine dress up bolts and everything. Got different lengths for the M5 screws since some of the ones that come with these kits are not quite long enough. We also got 3 gauges. We have the wideband, oil temp, and we have a boost gauge. And then also the glow shift, A-pillar pod, the tripod. Tire stickers. There's a bunch of other stuff in here too, but it is a clear like Lexan mount for the airlift controller. And this lights up, it's RGB. They forgot to send us the controller for the lights, so they got that shipped out to us today, so we should see that sometime next week. And then I can get this all wired up. The other thing that's getting replaced is the front bumper. We also got some OEM brackets, the bumper stays for the sides, just to help with like the bumper sag and everything else like that. That's just as soon as you pull the bumper off these cars and try to put it back on, it never lines up the same. So hopefully that'll help a little bit. We did not replace the ones that go around the headlight. And last but not least, for now anyways, we have our new pieces for the Rallybacker kit, the piece that fell off and got ran over on the interstate. So shout out to Rallybacker because they came in clutch with that. They got it made, shipped out, and to us in less than 2 weeks from Japan. So that was awesome. Didn't have to worry about that. And they didn't make us buy an entire new kit. We could just get the 2 pieces. So all right guys, so I got all the intercooler piping back in, got the strut bar put back together, and then the factory strut braces back in the car. And yep, it's got my approval. Look at that. So much better. Everything's matching. Now we just gotta get rid of all the yellow. And there's a really nice, like, metallic flake. Yeah, this is the Jamaican teal, I believe. And then the alien silver is the base coat. Alright guys, so I got a few more things done last night, and as much as I want to record and document everything just individually and the entire process of going through it and installation and just the build of the car, we're on a time crunch and I'm doing all this solo right now, so everything is getting kind of jumbled together in one video. This morning, got up super early, pretty much didn't sleep. I installed the pods, all 3 gauges, and have those all wired up. I still need to clean up like all the wires and everything, but they work. And here's what they look like when they turn on. You got boost gauge, air fuel ratio, and oil temp. And take this off. But fully digital, they have blue and red options for colors, and you can set those up where it's either just red when it comes on, and as soon as you turn the lights on it flips to blue, or vice versa, or just solid red or solid blue. I just have these wired up so they just stay blue, because red doesn't go with anything else in here. All the gauges are blue, all the interior lighting is blue, so, and the color of the car. I need to apply the tire stickers, which I have right here. But right now, I got the vinyl loaded up. Got the established. Send that out, and now she'll get to cutting. One down, 2 more to go. Well, next thing is painting the intercooler. Next after that, I'll tape off everything else, and then I have to paint the bumper itself black. Alright guys, so this video is kind of just sporadic and all over the place. I apologize for that. We just went and picked up Chris's car. I had to throw it back together yesterday morning, and we got a Viper alarm system installed with auto start and GPS and all that good stuff. And now today, finishing it up for the car show. So I have front bumper that needs to be wrapped. The retrofitted fog lights need to go in, get wired up. Carbon fiber APR cooling plate. We have these new turn signals that are smoked that have a running light built into it, a little LED strip. I am going to be hopefully putting my bridge seat into the FRS. We picked up a Sparco bracket for that, so that has to go in, and finish up cleaning up some wiring and just get the car all back together. Right now just was driving around with no front bumper on, which definitely looks cool. Makes it look like a race car. But yeah, so far I got all the fender hardware replaced. the extended M5 bolts really helped in some areas because of how thick the kit is, especially on this one. I was actually able to get it, well, this one actually pulled through, so I'm gonna have to figure something out with that. Rear diffuser's on. Now I have to put the wing back in, or on. Get ready before I have to go to work tonight, and then tomorrow I'll have a couple hours in the morning before she leaves for Chicago. And so right now I'm going to start removing my bridge seat and then start to get that in the FRS. And it's been getting into the freezing temperatures at night, so no more convertible for me. Alright, bridge seat is out, and now we need to get this out. And the rear bolts on the seat are kind of odd. They're not your typical just hex pattern, so gotta figure something out to get those out. And of course Toyota has to be difficult and use a E30 torque socket for one of these, which had to go find one of those, and in order to get one of those locally had to buy a full set. So $20 for just the little baby socket that fits over that. But finally got it out. Needed a breaker bar, and this one was stripped out a little bit, so I just hammered it down on it and then came right out. Or not that one, this one. This one's a little chewed up, so probably just replace these bolts. That way they're easy to remove next time. Okay, so for the S2000, I actually purchased the PCI, the Pro Car Innovations seat mount. This is the adjustable seat mount, not the slider. Honestly, the slider will raise the seat up an inch or two, and I wanted to get as low as possible, so that's why I went with this one. Loosen those up, and then you can slide the seat back and forth, and then you just tighten them back down. So as long as you have a 14 mil and a long extension, you can adjust the seat on the fly, and it's not that bad. So it was worth it just to go with this, and it's a cleaner look. You don't have to worry about like getting them evenly spaced and everything, so it actually slides smoothly. It's just simple setup. Simple is better usually. But this is the Sparko bracket for the FRS, and I'm hopefully just going to be able to remove these and then just transfer this right over onto this, as long as everything lines up. And there's decent amount of space, and with these being adjustable, you can pretty much put the bolts wherever on this mount, so we will see. So I wasn't actually sure if this was really going to work. I was going to find a way to make it work, but work like it's supposed to. So I actually had to flip the brackets around, so the bolts are actually behind it, but since she's shorter, I have the seat raised up a bit, so that actually will give me clearance. And it's not a Roadster, so I can actually get behind the seat to tighten these down if I need to. Alright, so this is as far back as I can get the seat right now with the brackets. I have them the way they're facing, but I think that'll be fine for her. And I have it tilted back a decent amount, so hopefully this will work for her. Bridge seat is in, looking good. Now I just need to bolt it down, and I got the seat belt hooked up. There's a second sensor, which I think is the weight sensor in the seat, which I'm not able to hook up because that one's wired into the actual seat itself. So she may have a light that comes on or something, but we'll see when we get to that point. And now next up, the wing. The wing stands, it's just spray paint and clear coated. So the second we move it or anything, it's just gonna eat away at the paint. You can already see, where is it? Right there where it rubbed a little bit from putting the bumper back on. So it's not permanent. Eventually we'll get them powder coated so it's a little more resistant to wear. But we'll get this put back on, and then I need to get the new bumper cleaned up and start wrapping that. Wing is back on, all white. The white contrasts with the color really nice, and it actually helps break it up a little bit. Even the white hardware and then the tire lettering. And then with the LED strips and the headlights and everything just flows a lot better now. Makes it a little flashier. Not that it wasn't already enough, but I mean, when you're building the car like this, the more attention you can get, the better. Okay, so there's one other thing that I need to install quick, hopefully quick. It is our bracket, our RGB light up bracket for the airlift controller. Car's haunted. Once I figure out where I'm going to put it, I'll throw this together, and then I have to figure out how to wire everything up. It's got just a little RGB controller, not Bluetooth or anything. And you have the remote. We can wire it up to a cigarette lighter, which in these cars is kind of nice. There's actually one right up here, right there. But that's what we have the dash cam hooked up to, and I don't have a splitter for that. And then the other one is right here, but I also don't want to have like a wire running up to it and everything. I want to keep everything as clean as possible. So I'll get this all figured out, start installing it, and then I'll check back in. Where everything is in this car, this is probably where we're just gonna have it for now. We will probably change it later on, depending when I have a little bit more time, but I'm going to go around and test. I think I'm gonna actually tap this into like the USB here, and the wiring for that is right here. And obviously that's only going to be useful with the ignition on. It's the only time that this will be able to light up. But I don't really feel, well, maybe actually I already have some wires ran to the battery, so I may just tap into those. That way we can turn it on and off anytime. So that's probably what I'll do. Probably won't tap into this, but I will feed the wires down through here, and then I'll just find those wires, tap into that for power and ground, and we should be set at that point. Go on. So I made just the biggest shortcut ever. We used to have the XK Glow underglow on this car, and I still had the little on-off switch hooked up for that, and those are the power and ground that were running to the battery. The module for the light up mount for the airlift controller had the same style plug in the back of it. So what I did is I just plugged it in to the XK Glow wiring, and then you have a little on-off switch here, and now you just click that on, and look at that, and it lights up and it works. It's super simple. I didn't really have to do anything, just plug it in. So super stoked about that. Now I can kind of put everything back together, but I do have to run the cable for the controller, which is coming out from here. I have to run this through here and up and out so it can connect, but that shouldn't be too terribly difficult. Just a couple screws in there, this thing lifts up, and then I should be able to at least just get my hand underneath and feed the wire through. So this is turning out to be a pretty simple install. Okay, so I just notched out the corner there just so the wires could come through, and now this will take the backing off the double-sided tape and we'll just mount it right there. Now the big part, the new front bumper needs to be cleaned, It's got kind of a rough surface in some spots, but I think it's just because of the dust that's on it. So I need to clean that really well. All these little tabs I need to trim off, wrap it, and then we have the other side, a brand new piece that I need to wrap. And then once all that's wrapped, I need to install the retrofitted Morimoto XB fog lights and get those wired up. Obviously put in the fog light bezels, which I probably should paint these. I don't know if I'll have time because I don't think that I'll finish the wrap today before I have to go to work. I have about 2 hours right now to do everything, and then a little bit tomorrow. And then we got these, which replace the front running light slash turn signal. Normally they're amber, has the white running light there, and then the other LEDs are the turn signal. And there's a bit of wiring involved with this. It's not just plug it in and go. So I have to wire it up so the running light will come on. This is just for the turn signal. Get those installed, wired up, those installed, wired up, full wrap on the bumper. At that point, the car is pretty much ready. There's a couple things that we wanted to do that we weren't able to, just don't have enough time. A lot of work in the last couple days to get this kind of show ready. You got the new horn for the Viper alarm. So we got the cool little chirp sound now. Yeah, she's almost ready. And then the long 9-hour drive to Chicago. All right, so all the inlays are done now. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then one along the bottom just to make sure there's no failures. This is my first time using Primer 94, and it's amazing. Well guys, it is currently like 7 o'clock in the morning, and finally finished up the front bumper. Did it over there, not right here. This would have been impossible, but made a mess. Front bumper is done, nice and smooth, no more rock chips. Got the new front turn signals with the integrated running light, the retrofitted Morimoto XB fog lights, and then I repainted the bezels because they were really hazy looking, but the paint is still kind of tacky, so it got kind of messed up as I was trying to put it in. But last minute details. FRS is done, all put back together. New bumper, new wrap. And now she's leaving for Chicago.
Yep.
Go become best friends with Dustin Williams.
So it still works? Even with that's I was like, oh, I forgot about it being locked.
Yeah, new Viper alarm system. Still a bit of a learning curve.